Poor girl married the CEO in place of her sister, but CEO had already fallen in love with her. Imagine this. A young woman, clutching the hem of her worn-out dress, stands nervously at the altar. Her heart pounds like a drum in her chest, not from excitement, but from sheer terror. Today is supposed to be her sister's wedding day, the day her wealthy, glamorous sibling marries one of the most powerful men in the city. But fate has other plans. A twist of events forces her into an impossible position, and now she finds herself standing where her sister should have been, face to face with a man she barely knows. This isn't just any man. It's the CEO everyone talks about, the enigmatic billionaire who seems untouchable, yet somehow deeply alone. And as they exchange vows under the watchful eyes of their guests, something unexpected stirs between them. Little does she know that his feelings for her are far more complicated and far deeper than anyone could have imagined. The story begins long before the wedding bells ring. Our protagonist, Maya, comes from humble beginnings. She lives in a small apartment on the outskirts of the city with her family, working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. Her life revolves around taking care of others, her younger brother, her aging parents, and yes, even her older sister, Ria. While Maya quietly shoulders responsibility after responsibility, Ria shines brightly. Basking in attention and privilege, Ria is beautiful, confident, and always chasing the next big thing. When she announces her engagement to Arjun Khanna, the handsome and ambitious CEO of a multinational corporation, it feels like the ultimate fairy tale come true. For Ria, at least. But beneath the surface, all is not as it seems. Tensions simmer within the family, secrets linger unspoken, and Maya finds herself caught in the middle of it all. Arjun Khanna is no ordinary man. He's known for his sharp mind, relentless drive, and the ability to command respect wherever he goes. Yet there's also an air of mystery surrounding him. People whisper about his past, about why someone so successful seems so closed off emotionally. Despite his wealth and power, Arjun carries a loneliness that few can see. For months he's been dating Ria, dazzled by her charm and beauty, or so everyone thinks. What no one realizes, not even Ria, is that Arjun's heart belongs to someone else entirely. Someone quieter, kinder, and infinitely more genuine. Someone who happens to be standing right beside Ria during every family dinner, every outing, every moment of their courtship. That someone is Maya. On the morning of the wedding, chaos erupts. Ria calls off the ceremony at the last minute, citing some vague excuse about needing time to think. The news spreads like wildfire, leaving the entire venue in disarray. Guests murmur amongst themselves, speculating wildly about what went wrong. Meanwhile, Arjun sits in stunned silence, grappling with betrayal and confusion. Just when it seems like everything is falling apart, Maya steps forward. With trembling hands and a voice barely above a whisper, she offers to take her sister's place. It's not out of love or ambition. It's out of desperation. Her family's financial stability depends on this marriage, and Maya knows she can't let them down. So, against all odds, she agrees to marry a man she doesn't truly know, hoping against hope that things will work out somehow. As the ceremony unfolds, the tension in the air is palpable. Every word spoken feels heavy, with meaning. Every glance exchanged, charged with emotion. Arjun watches Maya closely, trying to reconcile the woman standing before him with the image he'd built of her in his mind. She looks nothing like the vibrant, self-assured bride he expected. Instead, she's soft-spoken, almost fragile. Yet, there's a quiet strength about her that draws him in. As they say their vows, something shifts inside him. Maybe it's the way her voice wavers, but never breaks. Or the way she meets his gaze, despite her obvious fear. Whatever it is, it leaves him shaken and intrigued. Meanwhile, Maya struggles to keep her composure. She tells herself over and over again that this is just a transaction, a means to an end. But deep down, she can't ignore the strange connection she feels with Arjun. There's a gentleness in the way he looks at her, a warmth in his touch that contradicts everything she's heard about him. Could it be possible that behind the cold, calculating exterior lies a man capable of kindness? Or is she simply imagining things, projecting her own hopes onto someone who may never return her feelings? As the reception drags on, Maya catches snippets of conversations, whispers about how unconventional this union is, how unlikely it seems. Each comment chips away at her confidence, making her question whether she's made a terrible mistake. But then, something remarkable happens. During their first dance as husband and wife, Arjun leans in and says something that stops Maya in her tracks. His words are simple, yet they carry a weight that sends shivers down her spine. "I've waited a long time for this," he murmurs, his breath warm against her ear. Maya freezes, unsure if she heard him correctly. Did he mean? No, it couldn't be, could it? Before she can respond, the music swells, and they're swept back into the rhythm of the dance. But the seed of doubt has already been planted, and Maya can't shake the feeling that there's much more to this marriage than either of them initially thought. As the night wears on, questions swirl in Maya's mind. Why did Arjun agree to go through with the wedding after Ria left? Was it purely out of obligation, or was there another reason? And what exactly did he mean by those cryptic words during their dance? The answers elude her, buried beneath layers of uncertainty and fear. One thing is clear though, her life will never be the same again. Whether this unexpected turn of events leads to heartbreak or happiness remains to be seen. All she knows is that she's stepped into a world far beyond anything she ever dreamed of, and there's no turning back now. Just as Maya begins to process everything that's happened, a new complication arises. A familiar figure appears at the edge of the ballroom, watching the newlyweds with an unreadable expression. It's Ria, her sister, looking both guilty and defiant. Maya's stomach churns as she wonders what Ria wants now. Has she come to reclaim her place in Arjun's life? Or does she have some other motive entirely? The sight of her sister sends a ripple of unease through the room, and Maya instinctively reaches for Arjun's hand, seeking reassurance. But instead of offering comfort, Arjun stiffens, his jaw tightening as he locks eyes with Ria. Whatever history lies between them, it's clear that this confrontation is far from over. And so, as the clock strikes midnight and the festivities wind down, Maya finds herself facing a future filled with uncertainty. She's married to a man whose intentions remain unclear, haunted by her sister's sudden reappearance, and burdened by the weight of expectations she never asked for. The only thing she knows for sure is that love, loyalty, and trust will all be tested in ways she never imagined. Will she find the courage to navigate this tangled web of emotions? Or will the secrets and betrayals tear her apart? The journey ahead promises to be anything but easy, but one thing is certain: Maya's story is only just beginning. The days following the wedding are a blur for Maya. She moves into Arjun's sprawling penthouse, a place so grand it feels more like a museum than a home. Every corner gleams with polished surfaces and expensive art, but despite its beauty, the space feels cold and unfamiliar. It mirrors her new life, beautiful on the surface, yet hollow beneath. Arjun is polite, almost distant, treating her with a mixture of formality and kindness that leaves her confused. He ensures she has everything she needs, from designer clothes to access to his personal chef. But there's an emotional barrier between them that neither seems willing to cross. Maya spends her nights lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life by stepping into this marriage. Meanwhile, Arjun wrestles with his own demons. On the outside, he appears composed and in control. But inside, he's battling a storm of emotions. For months, he'd been falling for Maya, without even realizing it. At first, she was just Ria's quiet younger sister, someone he barely noticed during their family gatherings. But over time, he found himself drawn to her sincerity, her selflessness, and the way she always seemed to put others before herself. Unlike Ria, who thrived on attention and drama, Maya radiated authenticity, and now here she was, his wife. Yet instead of feeling triumphant, Arjun feels conflicted. Did she agree to marry him out of love or duty? Was she truly okay with taking Ria's place? Or was she simply sacrificing herself for her family? These questions gnaw at him, making it hard to fully open up to her. Tensions rise further when Ria re-enters their lives. She shows up unannounced one evening, claiming she wants to clear the air. Her presence sends shockwaves through the household, stirring up old wounds and unresolved feelings. To Maya, Ria's sudden reappearance feels like a betrayal. How could her sister abandon her own wedding, only to come back as if nothing happened? To make matters worse, Ria doesn't seem remorseful. Instead, she acts entitled, as though she still holds some claim over Arjun. During their tense confrontation, Ria drops cryptic hints about secrets she knows. Secrets that could shatter the fragile foundation of Maya and Arjun's marriage. Maya listens silently, her heart sinking with each word. She can't help but wonder, what exactly does Ria know, and how far is she willing to go to expose it? As the days pass, cracks begin to form in Maya and Arjun's relationship. They tiptoe around each other, afraid to say the wrong thing or reveal too much. Maya tries to focus on adapting to her new role as a CEO's wife, attending charity events and meeting influential people. But no matter how hard she tries, she feels like an imposter. The glitz and glamour of Arjun's world overwhelm her, reminding her constantly of the stark contrast between her humble upbringing and his privileged existence. Meanwhile, Arjun struggles to balance his responsibilities as a businessman with his growing feelings for Maya. He finds himself distracted during board meetings, his mind wandering back to the woman waiting for him at home. Is she happy? Does she regret marrying him? These thoughts plague him, making it difficult to concentrate on anything else. Amidst all this turmoil, a subplot begins to unfold. A secret that threatens to unravel everything. It turns out that Ria wasn't entirely honest about why she called off the wedding. In reality, she discovered something shocking about Arjun's past, something that made her question whether she wanted to be tied to him forever. What Ria doesn't realize is that Maya is starting to uncover fragments of the truth as well. Late one night, while exploring the penthouse, Maya stumbles upon an old photograph tucked away in a drawer. The image shows a younger Arjun standing beside a woman who looks eerily familiar. As Maya studies the picture, a chill runs down her spine. Could this woman be connected to Ria's cryptic warnings? And if so, what does it mean for her marriage? The tension reaches a boiling point when Arjun receives an anonymous letter at work. The envelope contains a single sentence, scrawled in bold letters. Your past will destroy your future. Arjun's face pales as he reads the words, his hands trembling slightly. Whoever sent the letter knows something. something they're determined to use against him. Panic sets in as he realizes the timing couldn't be worse. With Maya already struggling to adjust to their complicated dynamic, the last thing he needs is another obstacle threatening to tear them apart. Desperate to protect her, Arjun resolves to confront his past once and for all. But doing so means exposing painful truths that could either bring them closer together or drive them permanently apart. Maya, meanwhile, grows increasingly suspicious of Arjun's behavior. She notices the late-night phone calls, the hushed conversations behind closed doors, and the way he sometimes looks at her with a mixture of guilt and longing. Her instincts tell her that something is deeply wrong, but she doesn't know how to broach the subject. One evening, after a particularly awkward dinner, she finally gathers the courage to ask him directly. "Arjun," she says softly, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "Is there something you're not telling me?" For a moment, he hesitates, torn between honesty and self-preservation. Then, with a heavy sigh, he admits that yes, there is something, but now isn't the right time to discuss it. His evasiveness leaves Maya feeling more isolated than ever, fueling her growing sense of unease. Just as things seem like they can't get any worse, a major turning point occurs. During a high-profile business gala, attended by some of the city's most powerful figures, Ria makes a dramatic entrance. Dressed in a stunning gown, she walks straight up to Arjun and Maya, her eyes blazing with determination. Ignoring the stunned stares of the crowd, she accuses Arjun of hiding a dark secret, one that could ruin not only his reputation, but also the lives of those around him. The room falls silent as everyone waits to see how Arjun will respond. For a split second, panic flashes across his face, but then he composes himself, addressing the crowd with practiced calm. He dismisses Ria's accusations as baseless rumors, assuring everyone that he has nothing to hide. Yet, as he speaks, Maya can't shake the feeling that there's truth buried beneath Ria's words. With the clock ticking and tensions escalating, Maya finds herself at a crossroads. Should she trust Arjun and give their marriage a chance? Or should she listen to her instincts and dig deeper into the secrets surrounding him? Each option comes with its own risks, and the pressure weighs heavily on her shoulders. As she grapples with these questions, she begins to uncover pieces of the puzzle that Ria hinted at. Through careful observation and a few discreet inquiries, Maya learns that Arjun's past involves a scandal that nearly destroyed his career years ago. While he managed to rebuild his life, the scars remain, and now someone is determined to drag those scars into the light. The story builds toward its climax as Maya and Arjun are forced to confront not only the external threats, but also the internal fractures in their relationship. A series of events pushes them to their limits, testing their ability to communicate, trust, and ultimately love each other. Will Maya find the strength to forgive Arjun for his secrets? Or will the weight of his past prove too much to bear? And what role will Ria play in determining their fate? As the pieces fall into place, the stakes grow higher, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating how the conflicts will resolve. As the gala spirals into chaos, Maya feels a surge of determination. She can't let fear or confusion dictate her next move, not when so much is at stake. Instead of retreating, she steps forward, standing beside Arjun. Despite the whispers and stares of the crowd, her presence seems to steady him, if only for a moment, but it's enough to shift the atmosphere in the room. Ria glares at them both, her accusations hanging heavy in the air, but Maya refuses to back down. "If you have something to say," she says firmly, her voice cutting through the tension, "then say it clearly, But don't try to destroy people's lives with half-truths. The room falls silent again, this time out of respect rather than shock. It's a small victory, but it gives Maya the courage she needs to face what comes next. Later that night, back at the penthouse, Maya demands answers from Arjun. She tells him about the photograph she found, the anonymous letter, and everything else she's pieced together. For once, he doesn't evade her questions. Sitting across from her in the dimly lit living room, he takes a deep breath and begins to speak. He reveals the truth about his past, a scandal involving a failed business deal that led to financial ruin for several investors. Though he wasn't directly responsible, his name became synonymous with the failure, and he spent years rebuilding not just his career, but his sense of self-worth. The woman in the photograph, he explains, was someone who stood by him during that dark time, but their relationship ended badly, leaving scars that still haven't fully healed. Maya listens intently, her heart aching for the pain Arjun endured. Yet, as he speaks, another realization dawns on her. Riya must have known about this all along. Why else would she have tried to sabotage the wedding? Confronting her sister becomes unavoidable now. The next morning, Maya tracks Riya down at a cafe where she's meeting friends. Ignoring the curious glances from strangers, Maya pulls Riya aside and demands an explanation. At first, Riya tries to deflect, accusing Maya of being naive and blind to Arjun's flaws. But Maya stands her ground, pointing out that whatever grievances Riya has against Arjun don't justify hurting innocent people, including her own family. Finally, Riya breaks down, admitting that she called off the wedding because she feared being tied to someone with such a tarnished reputation. Her jealousy over Maya stepping in only made things worse. With Riya's confession laid bare, Maya returns home feeling drained, but clearer-headed. She realizes that while Arjun's past is complicated, it doesn't define who he is today. What matters most is how he chooses to move forward, and whether he's willing to do so with honesty and vulnerability. When she shares this insight with Arjun, he looks at her with a mix of gratitude and admiration. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner," he says, his voice raw with emotion. "I was afraid of losing you before I even had a chance to truly win your trust." In that moment, Maya sees the man behind the polished exterior, the one who's been carrying guilt and regret for years, hoping for redemption. And though forgiveness doesn't come easily, she decides to give him that chance. The turning point comes during a quiet evening at home. As they sit together on the balcony overlooking the city lights, Maya asks Arjun a simple question: "Do you love me?" His answer catches her off guard, not because of its sincerity, but because of its depth. "From the moment I realized you weren't just Riya's sister," he admits, "I knew there was something extraordinary about you. You make me want to be better, to deserve the life we could build together." Tears well up in Maya's eyes as she processes his words. For so long, she doubted whether anyone could see her for who she truly was. Now, hearing Arjun affirm her worth fills her with a sense of peace she hasn't felt in months. But the road ahead isn't without challenges. Rebuilding trust takes time, especially when external forces continue to threaten their fragile bond. A tabloid publishes a story about Arjun's past, reigniting public scrutiny and forcing them to navigate yet another wave of gossip. This time, however, they face it together. Maya stands by Arjun's side during press conferences and interviews, speaking openly about the importance of second chances and personal growth. Her unwavering support earns her admiration from those who once doubted her ability to handle the pressures of being a CEO's wife. Slowly but surely, they begin to carve out a life that feels authentic and meaningful. Rhea, meanwhile, undergoes her own transformation. After witnessing Maya's strength and resilience, she starts to reflect on her actions and motivations. Though their relationship remains strained, Rhea reaches out to Maya one last time, apologizing for the harm she caused. While Maya forgives her, she also sets boundaries, making it clear that their dynamic will never be the same. It's a bittersweet resolution, but one that allows both sisters to grow individually and heal in their own ways. By the end of the story, Maya and Arjun find themselves in a place neither expected when they first exchange vows. Their marriage, born out of necessity and misunderstanding, evolves into something real and profound. They learn to communicate openly, lean on each other during tough times, and celebrate the small victories along the way. The penthouse no longer feels cold and impersonal. Instead, it becomes a home filled with laughter, shared dreams, and the promise of a brighter future. As the camera pans out, showing Maya and Arjun walking hand in hand through the bustling streets of the city, the audience is left with a powerful takeaway. Love isn't about perfection or fairy tale beginnings. It's about choosing to stand by someone, even when the path ahead is uncertain. It's about finding beauty in imperfection and strength in vulnerability. And sometimes, it's about discovering that the person you least expected might just be the one who changes your life forever.